This is the 114th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the third week of November 2012. This episode is titled Topical Solution. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and hopefully sounding much better than I did last week. Sorry about that, kids. And joining me is the co-host for the 114th time, Justin Elsing. Justin, how you doing?
I'm going to sound just as good as I did last week.
You did. So just for you who listened last week and who were disappointed by the sound,
we apologize.
Yes. It was actually, what was funny was the mic, our Snowball, which you've heard us talk about a lot of times, was connected, but it wasn't all the way connected. It was enough to get power and to show me that it was recording, but not enough to actually have...
I thought we were blaming Sandy.
Yeah, well, Sandy did it. But I'm just saying that's what happened.
A gust of wind came through and blew the USB cord out from behind.
It would be my one sort of complaint about the Snowballs is that the connector for the USB is a little bit not...
It's that weird connector.
It's the square one.
It's the square one.
Yeah.
Which, like, a lot of cameras use, I guess. I don't understand why USB has so many different other ends.
Right.
Like there's the square one, which seems to be sort of standard.
Well, square and the regular one are standard. Then there's mini, but that's a totally different. Then there's micro, but those are different.
Right.
They're different.
And then there's lightning.
That's not USB.
Well, it's USB on one side.
Yeah. The other side's lightning.
Lightning.
All right. Well, let's get into the lightning and thunder of our podcast and talk about the blog post of the week.
I thought this was a good one.
This was called Analyzing Analytic Snapshots, and really talking about analytic snapshots. This comes up because it's a feature that we rarely use, but has a lot of power. And I remember there was a big splash when it came out, but again, it's very rare that I've seen anybody actually use it. We talk about, hey, you could use, but then people don't, and maybe they think it's too difficult or doesn't meet their requirements or whatever. So we said, hey, let's write a blog post on it, and so it is up on blog.arkusinc.com. Really about how to use it and what it does.
It's very good for longitudinal analysis of data.
So explain that to our listeners.
I just pulled that one out.
If you don't explain it now, it's going to sound really bad.
So it's for snapshots in time, like data that happens in chunks or bunches. So
historical data.
Yeah, I want to look at trends of, totals or subtotals of this type of data over the course of time,
right,
month by month. So not really a summary report, but more of like a snapshot of how that thing looked at that time,
right,
and how it looks in the next chunk of time, and then how it looks the next chunk of time. So a nice little line.
So what I'll give you is like so like clients. So if you said, I want to know how many of our accounts or how many clients we had at the end of every quarter. Right. So you could look at it. You could take a report and say, give me a report of all, accounts that type equals client. Great. Well, that gives you right now. But there's no way to say what you had at the end of last quarter or the quarter before that or the quarter that, other than if you took that snapshot of an actual report and saved it to your local drive or whatever, then you go back and compare the numbers. What analytic snapshots will do is kind of do that for you in Salesforce. It takes a report and takes the output of that report and throws it into a custom object that then can track it over time. So, and then you can report on that object.
I used to do this back when I worked at not the big company that shall remain nameless,
but a smaller company that can be named,
not-for-profit, where we collected leads from the website, but we collected 5 different web-to-lead forms. And every Wednesday, I would dedupe them using demand tools, a former CloudFocus at Piggly Week. But the team that managed the leads wanted me to dedupe them, but they also wanted to know how many total leads were created prior to being deduped. So I would have an analytic snapshot run Wednesday morning, like in the middle of the morning, like 3 a.m., and then Wednesday morning when I got into the office, I would run the dedupe script in demand tools, and I'd be able to say, here's how many leads there are now, and here's how many were in the snapshot, giving them the total versus how many uniques.
Neat.
Yeah, so that's one use case, not the use case that was described here in the blog post, but I've used them practically in the past myself.
So what we'd love to have you do is go to blog.arkusinc.com and then using Discuss, which is the commenting solution on the bottom of the blog, let us know. Is this the type of thing you like? Is this the type of thing you don't like? Let us know. I mean, we're trying to mix up, sort of reviews, then we mix up sort of things you can do.
Do you feel like this is a core feature that hasn't been touched in a while?
So could I put a true to the core tag on this?
Could you? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it does what it does. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what I would want it to do more than it does. It's kind of, there are certain things like that they kind of do what they do, and there's nothing you even want them to do more.
They've enhanced it. I remember when it first came out, it was just tabular.
Right.
Then it was limited to like 2,000 rows, and then they did, okay, now you can do summary, so it's sort of summarizing, so you can do more than 2,000 rows. I don't know what else you would do to it necessarily. It's not like contracts where you can think of tons of things that you can do with contracts, but I think of this as a core feature.
Yeah.
As far as analytics are concerned.
I feel like it's just not, I mean, I'd love to have the stats, but I don't think it's that used. That used at all.
No, I don't think it is either.
But anyway.
But it's pretty powerful for, certain use cases. It's definitely where it's at.
And only available, I think, in EE and above, right?
Oh, now you're going to make me look at the chart. I'm not sure.
I think it is. All right. Well, that's Analytics Not. That's at blog.arkusinc.com. I think we've mentioned that about 4 times. Next up is a blog post on Mashable talking about Facebook, and it's called "Facebook's New Job Board Puts LinkedIn on Notice," which is kind of interesting. So it's basically a story about how Facebook has built up a new sort of ability to search and post jobs on Facebook. We've actually seen, which is interesting because we've seen this as a demo. They used to do this as a demo, as a Salesforce demo, to show how you could use a widget to have people sort of post their jobs onto your page and then like them and suggest friends, and then that would come into your Salesforce org as recruits, right? As people who you would then go through the onboarding process.
I'm on the tool right now.
Yeah, and?
I just typed in Salesforce. Just looking for some jobs. I found 46 of them.
Okay.
Here's one in New York. Lead Salesforce.com developer in New York City.
There you go.
Interesting. Not bad. It has 2,500 likes.
What, the job?
The job, I guess. I don't know what that means.
It can't be the job. It must be Salesforce.
No.
Why would the job have likes?
I don't know. You can't really do anything with the job itself, but there's a like button, and it has 2.5K, it says.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm just going to like it and see what happens. No, look, it actually likes this thing.
So you can like the
It's liking, I think it's liking maybe the app, which is Branch Out.
This is, the app, Branch Out. That's
like
been a while for a while.
I can add a comment, and then, no, that's Branch It. Or Branch In or something. This is Branch Out.
Oy.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this for fun. Just for fun. What does this do? I know. I'm typing and posting to my Facebook. Anyone who's friends with me can go check this out and comment on it. Let's see, what did that do? I assume it just threw it on there. All right. And then you click on it, and it brings you to... Yes, you can use my permission. It's asking for my permissions. Oh, and then it brings me to Branch Out and Activity Feed and all that other stuff. Oh, all right. I mean, the topic of this blog post was really just to bring it back.
That was the most thrilling 2 minutes of podcast history.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, America, and the rest of the world.
Is that this is a little jab, a little poke at LinkedIn, perhaps, because LinkedIn has their whole job board network. And it did apparently have a little bit of a negative impact on LinkedIn in the
pricing.
Yeah,
in the
stock price.
Yeah,
2% drop, which isn't really that much, but
I feel like, and I know we've talked about this before, I feel like LinkedIn really knows more about this than the social networks, and I have a feeling, and again,
LinkedIn is a social network, so
well, there you go. I have a feeling that people like to keep their potatoes from their meat.
I know what you're saying, and I agree completely.
I feel like people want to keep things separate. They like having LinkedIn, whereas I have all my professional stuff, and I can LinkedIn with strangers and people I just met and people I just saw on the call. By the way, side story, just got to my thousandth connection.
1,000?
1,000 connections in LinkedIn.
Does it say 1,000 or does it still say 500
plus? It says 5. Oh, but in my profile it says 1,000. But yes, it still says 500 plus.
I don't know where I'm at. I'm somewhere in the 700s.
I get, I just want an award or something. I wanted like some sort of...
You want a badge?
That's what I think LinkedIn should
badge?
do. That's what I want LinkedIn to do. I want to put like a badge or something. But I just feel like people want to keep their sort of that type of data very separate. I want to separate out pictures of my dog sleeping on something funny in the morning, by the way,
which you put on LinkedIn.
Which I put on LinkedIn. Away from what I did at the company that shall not be named.
Which you'll put on Facebook.
Which I put on Facebook. So, yeah, I don't know. My gut feel is that people know these two different places and they want to keep them separate. So you try to mingle them, they're going to be like, yeah, I don't want to put that there. I want to keep them pretty separate. So, interesting, but I feel like LinkedIn's got such a good hold of that space, and I don't feel like I have any interest in bringing any of that relationship into Facebook. I don't feel like there's any value over there.
Maybe
right?
There is if, you got a buddy that, needs a job.
If you had a buddy that needs a job, I'd be like, here's what I've said to people, and I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, so if I'm repeating myself from 113 times ago, let me know. What I've said to people when they're looking for a job, and I have friends who come in and out of jobs and whatever, I say, here's what you can do. Go to my LinkedIn. You're LinkedIn with me, yes? Okay, LinkedIn, great. Go to my LinkedIn and go through my connections and look at their titles and look at who they are, and then come back and do something old-fashioned. Send me an email or call me or whatever and say, hey, I found Justin Elstein, who works at Arkus. That's a company I'm really interested in working at. How do you know them, and can you introduce me? And then I would do the old-fashioned, either call or email and introduce the person and say, hey, Bob here is Bob Konstantopoulos, Bob Boberson. He's a whatever. I'm introducing you to them. Take it amongst yourselves. Because I feel like that's the best way. It's like, who do you know? Well, go look. These are all the people I know. And then you can see what they're doing and then ask me, do I have a really deep connection with that person? Like someone I just met on a conference call today that I linked in with to become the thousands. Hard for me to say. Or is it someone who I know very, very, very well and would have no problem reaching out and making the introduction? So I don't know. I don't feel the same way about about Facebook. So, but that story then that happened. Next up, we're talking late breaking news here. We today got entered into the Chatter Topics pilot. Justin just looked up and around the air.
There's some sound happening.
It's like someone's on a call or something.
It's like radio.
It's like us. Something. Anyway, the podcasting studio is not soundproof. So Chatter Topics, which Salesforce announced a while ago, it's now in pilot. We're actually in the pilot as of about 2 hours ago, so we got a little bit of first on hands. I'll explain what it is. So everybody knows Chatter. And in Chatter, you can use something called Topics, which is the hashtag ability that you can use both in Google Plus and in Twitter, which is you put a hashtag and you put a topic around it. Big examples are Occupy Wall Street. They use that as a hashtag, and then normally what that hashtag allows you to do is to click on it and search everyone else who's ever used that hashtag in any other post, whether that post be on Twitter or whatever. So that's the idea. It's kind of a ability to self-collect. Interesting enough, Salesforce has always had the ability to have tags, or not always, but in the last 3 years, personal and private tags, and that's the way. I think they come off now, and I don't think I turn them on ever.
I never turn them on.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's a trap door.
It's a trap door?
It is. You turn them on, people are like, ooh, these are cool.
Can I search on them?
Can I do anything with them? Nope.
Yeah.
Can I, add people to a campaign? No. Can I report on them? No.
Can I get a list view?
No. Can I do anything with them?
You can click on them.
You can click them.
It is kind of
a trapdoor.
It is a trapdoor, and they've kind of been replaced by what you can do in. You can actually can you do more of them in Chatter now? If I were to chat or something and put a topic on it, anyway, sorry, rat hole. But anyway, so Chatter Topics is taking that concept and sort of expanding on it, allowing you to create sort of pages, topics that then aggregate what people have either used as hashtags or added as topics. Right now, they're kind of connected, which is a little strange. So the process that works is you go and you add, now if you have it enabled in your org, you go add a hashtag, and then it says searching for your topic. So it kind of like looks for topics. It looks at your hashtags, but it also looks at other words. And from what the guy told me today, John, it uses some really cool algorithms. Like he threw out some stuff from our search days. I was like, ooh, you're using those algorithms to figure out what topics that you could suggest. Then you tag those topics, and then those topics kind of become their own pages in Chatter where you can see other people connecting. It's definitely pilot. It's definitely got very little features right now.
It's totally pilot.
Yeah.
I've been playing with it.
Well, you played with it like for an hour.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this interested people thing gets populated.
It's if you look at a tag.
I've been looking at them.
That's every time you look at a tag, you are one of the interested people. Or topics.
It's not updating. The number's not updating.
Well, how many does it have now?
1.
Oh.
That's you.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know how this works. One of them has 2, but...
Then that's you.
Yeah, but I've clicked on quite a few of these at this point.
Oh.
I don't know how it updates.
Maybe it's using...
It's like a little...
Maybe it's if you use the tag.
Maybe I gotta go use it.
Use one of the topics. Anyway...
It's kind of a meta layer on top of the already existing topics. I think they should have chosen a different word.
Than topics?
Yeah, because topics are already a thing, and these are not the same.
They're sort of the same, but not really.
Well, they're not even sort of the same, but not really. Like, if you click on a hashtag, which is what
a topic is.
They
should have just named the other one hashtag.
The other one should be hashtag, because that's what people know them as.
Right.
Then
hashtag really cool.
Not the same as clicking on a Chatter topic or giving a Chatter post or adding it to a topic.
Right. Well, that's what this can do that hashtags can't do, is that you can go to something that already exists and add. So you could post about your favorite video.
It's the meta layer. You just add a little data to it.
Right. Merlin Man. Now, he explained it on the call as wiki-esque in that you can garden and add stuff to other people to make it better. So I could go into a post that you post about, I was about to say Merlin Man and Inbox Zero, great video I posted the other day, and I
rewatched it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I watched it back in the day. I watched it again.
And you can add a topic, so I could add a couple of topics to other people, and then again, as you go, I think the future of this is really about influence and then expertise. So then as you add and use topics, then you could show expertise. So, we're looking at the, let's say, motorcycle topic. Look, Jason and Justin have expertise. Let's do podcasting. The podcasting topic. Oh, look, these people have been using these, but they have, through an algorithm, have an expertise in this. Maybe I can ask them. And we saw this stuff back in IBM like 10 years ago or 8 years ago, where they were really looking at algorithms to figure out who in an organization knows about certain things. So this way is a kind of way of doing it without having to say, oh, here's a group, and here's the guy who knows the most about that in the group. So I think there's some interesting stuff in here. It's definitely pilot, but I've seen some of the roadmap, which they didn't really want me to talk about the roadmap, safe harbor, but it has some interesting stuff coming up that I think, especially in bigger orgs, we're in a small org, but in a bigger org with lots of people using lots of different stuff, this is a way of collecting and pulling stuff together in a way that's more manageable. Although, when they use wiki, the thing about wiki is it has a very formatted feel, so you can put things where you want them to be.
Yeah, it's a web page.
In this way, you can't really. So again, stuff is still controlled by time, which isn't a great way to organize information, right?
Search is still the best way to get through.
Even that doesn't organize information very well. Search doesn't organize information very well. It allows you to find information, but when you want to organize information, I want to put the most important information at the top. But in search, it could be at the bottom because it's just a term. So anyway, so that's topics. Kind of an interesting. So if you haven't seen a pilot, if you're not in a pilot, I think this is going to be in the next release, which we just got notice about, spring 13.
Yeah, the sandbox notifications went out, and I get home, and I'm like, how do I have 36 new emails? I just checked it like 20 minutes ago. How is that possible? And like, they're all the same. Sandbox.
So winter 13, I don't think, does that mean the notes are out?
I do not believe that is the truth.
It seems pretty quick. All right.
I feel like someone would have told me. Like, I would have found out from somewhere.
Someone usually tells us when the notes are out.
I
feel like Winter 13 just came out.
Yeah, that's why I said, wow. Doesn't that usually come out in January or February?
January, February, yeah. Well, let's think about it. That's not...
a little early.
Yeah, or maybe...
I just took my Winter 13 recertification exams this week.
Me too.
Did you pass them?
I did pass them, and as I was noticing in WebAssessor when I was looking at them, I was like, wow, I've been taking these tests since 2008. This is so same as you, because we took our tests at the same time.
We both have plaques.
The first 500?
Mine's right there on the desk. First 500 certified.
Yes. That alone...
What does it say?
I don't know. This is, again, more thrilling podcasting as you read things.
First 500 certified, awarded in recognition of being among the first to earn a Salesforce.com certification.
There you go.
It's a nice little thing. They don't do these things anymore. They did that surfboard thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That was kind of cool. I wish I got one of those.
All right. Last topic of the day, speaking of topics, is I'm surprised you didn't make your pick of the week.
Why? I don't make hardware picks.
Oh, well, you should.
I make it? I could be my pick of the week, and I could save this other one.
Save this one. Make it your pick of the week, and let's discuss it. Yeah.
All right, so let's just make the picks of the week then.
All right, so what's your pick of the week?
Oh, I got my iPad Mini in the mail.
Oh, mine arrived today. Otherwise, I was gonna make mine the pick of the week, but I haven't actually played with it, so
I've been playing with mine.
Yes. So let me hear about it.
I love it. And
so
I'm not really. So I got a white.
Okay.
16 gig Wi-Fi only.
Okay.
iPad Mini.
Excellent.
With a green.
The Arkus green.
Smart cover. The Arkus green. It's the only. I felt like it was the only choice.
Well, I mean, I kind of goaded you into this, but would you make it your pick of the week? Like, is this something you like?
I've been using it every day since I got it.
Yeah.
I got it on Monday. I have not used my other iPad, my original iPad.
That was your, the first one, right?
Yeah, I have the iPad first generation.
I think that's the one I put next to the hold open the door in my
Yeah. I'm going to get rid of it because this does everything that one does. That one's 32 gigs, so it has a little more space. A little more space, yeah. But I find that that's not necessary for me because I stream a lot of things.
That's true.
It's snappy. Because coming from where
I was talking about the iPad Mini.
So now I'm coming from the original iPad. You have the third generation. I have the new iPad. The new iPad, whatever it's called.
Yes.
So the iPad Mini is it's definitely smaller. I mean, you're looking at it. It's totally smaller.
By the way, you in the audience listening to this right now, you are not looking at it. Unless you are.
I'm saying you.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
Jason, you're seeing this. It's really tiny.
It surprised me.
It's like a Kindle.
When you brought it in, when I came to see it for the first time, because I ordered mine, but I got the cellular one, which take a little longer to ship. I was surprised.
It's surprising, isn't it?
It's surprising how small it is.
But it's also surprising how not small it is when you're actually using it. So
it feels small in the hands, but doesn't.
It feels small in the hands, but the screen itself is full. Like it's the full experience.
Right.
So you
don't feel like you lose anything.
Yeah, you're really not. I don't feel like I'm losing anything. As a matter of fact, for me, I'm gaining quite a bit. It's really fast. The internet is lightning quick on it.
Yep.
The Safari browser is very, very fast. It downloads things extremely quickly, like the apps.
Yep.
I've used it every day. The mail client works great.
Yep.
iMessage works great on it. I mean, now with the messages is just great. Apple's done this amazing.
Still
thing with
a little
messages.
Quirky for me, but it works. But it's like.
I've gotten it now down pretty well.
What do you do with the multiple devices and being notified by the same message on 10 devices at once?
It doesn't really happen to me because I've found that when I'm here at work, I'm sitting at my laptop and I will get notified twice, right? Once in messages on the laptop and once on the phone that's sitting there. Yeah. But then once I start answering using the computer, it doesn't notify the phone, which is smart.
It is very smart.
But the messages are there. They're on the phone. It's just not. And the same thing with the iPad. I sit there with the iPad, watching TV or watching a basketball game or a football game, and I'm, texting back and forth or iMessaging back and forth, and it knows to notify one or the other.
So you think there's an algorithm that if you haven't been notified about a new message, it'll send it to all devices, and then after you start...
Once you start with one, I think it
sticks to one.
Sticks to it.
It's pretty smart.
I feel like there's a time element to it also. I also send the read receipt, so it knows whether you read it or not, whether you're sending that receipt or not. Back to the Mini, it's light.
Yep.
It's really light to the point where I'm bringing it back and forth to work. I don't even feel it in my bag.
Yep.
It's got features that I've never gotten the chance to use before, like a camera on an iPad.
Camera's nice.
It's got, the photo booth. It's got the FaceTime. And I feel like it works really great. iBooks everything just sunk over.
Well, that's sort of nice about
iCloud.
This universe now. I mean, we are a cloud computing podcast, so we can talk about it. But that's what's sort of nice about this new universe is that you think of when you have almost everything is, between your apps, between, your mail, your calendar, your contacts.
It was so easy to set
Dropbox, Drive. It's like, everything you can get, everything you want is all kind of, cloud based.
That's the thing. I haven't plugged this in to any machine yet.
Right.
And I've been using it, and it works like a charm.
Yep.
All the books sync down, the music's there through iTunes Match. The only thing that eventually I'll have to plug it in for is to get some videos over to it when I hop on a plane to go somewhere. Next time.
Well, if you bought those videos, on iTunes, you can download them right from iTunes. You don't even have to plug them in to get them over.
All of them, movies too.
Movies, no.
Yeah, but I have a lot that I didn't buy from iTunes.
Spoiler alert. Okay.
I bought from somewhere else.
Yeah, you bought from somewhere else.
My personal DVD collection.
Well, funny enough, I did actually buy a video literally yesterday that was not an iTunes video because it was available on. It was Louis C.K. It was his 1 hour Beacon Theater show, and it was $5. And I downloaded it, but I downloaded it on my computer, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this on my iPad, and I was like, how do I get this onto my iPad? I didn't even know.
I plug it in.
So you know what I did? I just played it on my computer and played it on my iPad while I watched it. So actually, I played.
You had to plug it in.
I didn't. I don't plug it in. I plug it in to recharge it, and that's it.
I just plugged it into the wall. That was the other thing. It has the
lightning.
So now I've got all these lightning cables.
That's nice. Because right now in my house, it's like...
Now all my devices are on lightning because I'm going to sell the original iPad on eBay, or for listener, if you guys, make an offer. I'm selling it. It's in great condition. 32 gig, original, Wi-Fi only.
There you go.
$600 or best offer.
Not going to happen. Well, I can't wait. I actually left to go to a client meeting and then got the notification as I was came out of the subway.
We're both all dressed up today.
I know.
It's a
big dress up day. So the iPad Mini, nice pick. Multiple prices, way
mine
expensive.
So mine, after all was said and done, I got the cheapest version.
Yeah.
But I got the case.
You must have been about $500. It
was $400.
Yeah. You didn't do Apple Care.
Did not do Apple Care.
Crazy.
Not yet.
You're crazy. Very cool. Yeah, mine's at home. I actually went for I think we said this on the other, but I went for the cellular one. First time I've ever done the cellular, because the other person has a cellular and he really loves it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing: the other person, the partner shall remain nameless, and I were at this client meeting together.
Yeah,
and sometimes you go to a client meeting and they're like, "Yeah, we got Wi-Fi, but you can't get on their Wi-Fi."
Right.
So we could not get on their Wi-Fi. So
he opened up his.
Well, he opened up his iPad, and I just took out my phone.
Right.
And I tethered to my phone, and he tethered to his iPad, and someone else tethered to my phone, and the two of us were tethered to my phone. Never lost connection.
Yep.
Worked great. He was struggling.
So phone AT&T, MiFi, iPad Verizon.
He was struggling.
Right.
He was just losing it every 3 minutes. He was just losing the whole connection.
So I'll tell you, this is something that this is why you have to have two. It's a crazy world we live in, but especially in our business.
Certain spots are better for one than the other, and that's that.
I had the exact opposite.
I had two people on mine, and it never dropped, and he dropped. He was the only person on his. Then he pulled out his phone, which has it, and was...
Well, then he's on AT&T on the phone.
Right. Because the iPad just wasn't doing it.
Yeah, but that's not the iPad.
It's not
that's
the
Verizon.
iPad. It's Verizon, right?
Right. So whereas Verizon's great in some areas, it
was weird because we were in Midtown Manhattan, and they should all be
They should all be good.
They should all be good. Yeah. But AT&T happened to be better at that point.
So that's why I got the iPad mini with Verizon, is so now I can get away from carrying my MiFi with me and just carry the Apple.
Because our phones are on AT&T.
Because we're on AT&T.
So what's your pick?
All right, so mine's actually something to play on your iPad. So I don't know. I have talked about some of my favorite games.
I'm not a big gamer.
Okay, well, I love games on my iPad.
I like flick games.
This is not a flick game.
That's all I like is flick. I like flicking my finger.
This is not a flick game. I like two different genres of games. Actually, three, but one is not as much. I like. I just had a brain not working. Racing games. I love racing games. I love any kind of racing games. So if you're looking for a good racing game, my pick is not Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is now on the iPad. That's not my pick by EA. But if you want a good racing game, that's a good racing game. So if
you want a bad racing game,
yeah, there's many bad racing games.
Here comes your pick.
No. And then the other kind of game I like is tower defense games.
Oh, yeah, you do like those.
Yeah, the ones that you like.
You showed me that one time.
Well, Plants vs. Zombies is like the number one. It's just awesome fun. It's also because it's plants and zombies and it's funny. Then there's lots of other ones out there. I actually made one of my picks was
I remember
Kingdom Rush.
Yeah, we were playing that together. You're like, you just gotta prevent people from getting past you.
Yeah, Kingdom Rush.
And I lost in 3 seconds.
Oh, I love it. So Kingdom Rush I've actually gone back to. Like I made that as a pick a long time ago. I'll make it again because they put out some new levels, so you download that. But a new one, which I never played the first version of, which is a big hit, is called Field Runners. So Field Runners 2 is released. It actually works on the iPad mini. Read it in some of the reviews. Great game of a tower defense game. So tower defense is basically you have things coming from one side or from multiple sides. You build up sort of things they have to go around or that shoot them or that stop them, and then you just kind of keep doing that as they come in swarms or waves. There's usually some element to it. There's usually some story to it. Anyway, if you're holding out on buying one of these things, Field Runners 2 is great. I'm deep into it now. Is the best thing when you're watching a show that you don't care about. Like, when I'm watching a show I like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch a show. But like sometimes you're watching a show you don't care about or watching a sporting event that you're kind of like, but you don't like. Like sometimes Sunday Night Football. It's not very good. It's like, okay, I'm just kind of watching, but I'm not really watching. Oh, I just love it. Pull up a nice game of Field Runners. I think it's a couple bucks, so whatever. It's a couple bucks. Field Runners 2. It's universal, and I'm pretty sure it's universal, and it works great on all the different iPads. Check it out. All right, well, that wraps up the week. We actually forgot to mention one thing. We'll bring it maybe next time.
Well, we forget.
Right here in our agenda.
We had something in the agenda that we didn't mention?
Yeah, I'm highlighting it right now in front of you.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that with the mini. Why don't we leave that for next week?
We'll leave that for another week. Maybe we should do a blog post about that. That could be a good blog post.
Could be. I'll look at the calendar and see if there's an open
Talk to the blog master.
Well, that's myself.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, all right. In the meantime, go to blog.arkusinc.com. Follow us on twitter.com/justedelstein. Follow us on twitter.com/jasonmatwood, twitter.com/arkusinc. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/arkusinc. We're on the Google+. We're on the LinkedIn. We're in the Dreamforce portal if you want to go in there still. Guess what? It still works. And you can bookmark a place so you don't have to use the touch interface, which I have done because I just don't like that on my big screen. And that's it. And go to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast or use one of the others. There's a bug actually in the podcast app for the iOS that was downloading tons and tons of, repeatedly downloading podcasts over and over again. It was killing people's bandwidth. So yet another reason to use Instacast. So use Instacast because you get what you pay for. And until next week, we'll be back with another episode. Until then, for Jason and Justin, CloudFocus Weekly, enjoy those cloudy days.